Speaking to me now is the former featherweight champion of the world, Lee Selby. It's been a while since I last spoke to you, Lee. Before we talk about what's happening in the future, what's your recollection of the Warrington fight now, a number of months later?
To be honest, obviously it was a bad night, and it's been like well documented that I'm big for the weight, and I do have like certain struggles making the featherweight limit, and I think that reflected in the fight. You know, I've been making the 9-stone limit for maybe 10 years, and even in the beginning it was a struggle back then. And as an amateur, I boxed a lightweight, so I think it was just one too many times at a well.
In the training camp for that fight, did you feel the weight was a struggle more than it had been in the past, or did it take a tough fight like Warrington to realise that you were in the wrong weight division?
During like all my training leading up to fights, I'm always very strong, and in my gym I'm known as like a puncher. But as soon as I drop below like the 10-stone mark, the power decreases like rapidly, and like around about 9 stone 12, I can't spar lower than that because I'm just physically too weak. But in the past, I've managed to get away with it, just with my boxing skills. And I never complained in training. I never complained to my trainer, my manager, because after the fight they sort of like tried to blame themselves for not recognising the signs. But being a professional, I always made weight. I just didn't show, kept a straight face, just like in a fight. Making weight for me was like a fight, so I just kept a straight face, got on with it, didn't complain. And I know I could make the featherweight limit again, but the performance isn't there. And it sort of showed maybe 3 or 4 fights ago. My performances sort of declined, and there was no power to my punches. Whereas when I was more of a natural featherweight, I was hitting the boys and hurting them, stopping them, dropping them. And that's the same in the gym. Above the 10-stone mark, I stopped boys in the gym, dropped some body shots and stuff. But then close to the fight, when I dropped the weight, they're just walking through the shots.
Despite the problems with making the weight, did you still feel confident going into the fight? Like, I mean, you seemed confident on the interviews you did before the contest. On the way in, you seemed very confident. Did you still think you had enough to beat Warrington going into the contest?
Yeah, because I got away with it so many times, just with my boxing skills. And I thought, even though like dead at the weight, I thought I was still good enough to beat Josh Warrington, because I know he's not a better fighter than me.
At what point of the contest did you sort of realise that things weren't going to plan and that the weight was an issue?
From the first shot, I threw a jab. I just thought, oh dear, it was just laboured, and I had no snap there. And like after the first round, I knew I'd lost a round. But I was telling myself, come on, he's crap, just sort it out. And I just couldn't. My body wouldn't work.
Was it a bit like putting your foot on the accelerator and there was nothing there?
Well, sort of, yeah. Exactly. Like I know what to do, and I knew what to do, but it just wouldn't work.
Were you surprised by how good Warrington was on the night, or was he just as you expected?
Just as I expected. Sorry.
And there was a very hostile atmosphere in Leeds. I mean, I was there as well. Did the crowd affect you at all, or was it just like water off a duck's back?
Just water off a duck's back, like you said. Things like that don't affect me, not in the slightest. So like the crowd had no impact on the fight. It was just myself, really.
And there was a...
Also, the cuts didn't help. I got cut bad, I think, in the second round. And there was stages in the fight where I honestly couldn't see. It was just like a silhouette of him. Couldn't see the referee, couldn't see the front row. And of course, I didn't want to rub the blood out of my eyes. You do that, you look. It's like a wounded animal. He's going to start attacking me even more. So I just had to keep a straight face again and just crack on with the fight.
What was your trainer, Tony Bogg, telling you in between the rounds as the sort of fight was sort of slipping away from you?
To be honest, I can't really remember, but I know after the fight he said from the first bell he could see a one there.
Quite often at the end of the contest, both boxers put their hands up. Before they announced the decision, did you think you had a chance of winning or getting a draw, or did you realise that the fight had gone?
I knew I'd lost the fight, but you never know in boxing, you get some dodgy decisions. If it was at home, maybe they would have raised my hands. But I didn't deserve to win, no chance.
What was the feeling like in the change room? I'm guessing you're probably obviously very disappointed, but in hindsight, was it a gamble worth taking, do you think?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like I said, I still thought I was good enough, even though like depleted with the weight, I thought I was still good enough to win the fight, and then go on to to fight Frampton. That was the free fight deal I did with Frank Warren. But obviously I lost the fight, and Warrington's out there defending the title against Frampton.
Just, I mean, you're probably more qualified than most people. Who do you think is going to win that, Warrington or Frampton?
Well, the smart money, you'd have to go on Frampton. But again, when I boxed Warrington, the smart money was on me. So you never know what goes on behind the scenes.
After you returned to Wales after the Warrington fight, the news quickly came out that you were planning to move up to lightweight, which surprised a few people for a number of reasons. Obviously, you jump in 2 weight divisions instead of 1, and also the lightweight division at world level is packed with talent. Can you just tell us your thoughts about that?
I don't think the super featherweight limit would benefit me, the extra £4, because it's a real struggle to get to there. And like lightweight isn't easy for me to make. But when I'm down at lightweight, my body's ripped. There's not an ounce of fat on me. But I'm not taking that extra £9 of like muscle mass and water out my body. So I'll be a different fighter. Just like I'm in the gym. Like I can't remember the last time I lost a spar. And I've sparred all around the world against world-class fighters. But when I am sparring, I'm around like 10 stone 4. And hopefully I can bring those performances into the ring. I've been saying it like time and time after my fights. When I bring my spar into the ring, I wouldn't get beat. But it's only because I'm a bit punchy. It took bloody 10 years for me to realise I'm sparring at a heavier weight and getting down to 9 stone, the performance in there.
So what's the plan to capture a lightweight world title? Are you aiming for sort of British level, European level, or would you like to go straight into a world title eliminator, that type of thing?
So I boxed at a high level throughout most of my career. I think I had eight normal fights, and the rest have been like 10 and 12 round title fights. So I don't want to be going back to like the drawing board, so to speak. I want to be straight in like an eliminator or a final eliminator for the world title. I still got an association with Al Heyman, and just like the featherweight division, he had all the champions there. And at lightweight, you got like Mike Garcia with a couple of belts. I think you got Jose Pedraza, just won a WBO title. And it's unsure what Mike Garcia is going to do. He'll probably vacate belts. When you're at that status, you don't really need belts to be in big fights. So there could be a vacant strap or something like that.
What sort of time frame are we talking before you know when your next fight will be, or when you can tell us when your next fight will be?
I'll be fighting in November. Yeah.
Will that be in Wales? Will that be in the UK?
It's still unsure, but I'll definitely be fighting in November. There should be an announcement very soon in the next few weeks.
And of all the lightweight champions, who would you prefer to fight, given no boxing politics aside? Who would you like to jump in there with?
Anybody, and I'll shock them, because I'll have the punching power back. Like as a featherweight, I was known as like a non-puncher, and that's the truth. I punched like my 4-year-old daughter. I obviously couldn't punch at all, but in the gym, I'm punching very, very, very hard, and I'll shock the lightweight champions.
Thanks for talking to us today, Lee. Have you got any message for the fans who've supported you along your journey?
Just stay tuned, and I'll give you some very exciting fights and hopefully some exciting news very soon.